All right, my name is Daphne Maddox, and I'm the Executive Director of CASA of Midwest Kentucky. CASA of Midwest Kentucky is a part of a national program. It is court-appointed special advocates, so we train community volunteers to represent abused, neglected kids that come in through the family court system. CASA of Midwest Kentucky initially started as CASA of Hopkins County. So we were one county, and our umbrella agency had to close, and so we decided to form the own nonprofit agency and became CASA of Hopkins, Webster, and Crittenden counties. We did that for several years, and we decided, the state asked us actually, to take on additional counties, so we became CASA of Midwest Kentucky, and we now serve Hopkins, Webster, Crittenden, Union, Henderson, and Muhlenberg counties. So we did all that growth from 2016 to present, so it's been a very wild ride.
That's a rapid growth.
Yeah, CASA had been in Hopkins County since 1998. So when the umbrella agency closed, then we reformed in 2016 and then did the growth from 1 to 3 to 5 to 6. CASA, everything that we do is confidential because we are in the family court system, so I can't give real specific examples because I don't want anybody to say, oh, I know that family. But with CASA, what our volunteers do is we work very closely with the family. We work with the relatives who may be caring for the kids, or with the foster parents who the children are placed with, and then the families that the kids have been removed from. It's our goal that those children receive every kind of service that they might need, whether it be educational, whether it be therapy, something like that. So some of the cases that we've seen, our volunteers are engaged with the children. The child would grab the volunteer's hand and run them into the kitchen and show them in their foster home that they had food. And for us, that's something that's so normal for us to have food. My kids don't get excited about the green beans in the cabinet or the cereal that's there. It's just something that's always been there for them. And so working with these kids, you come to truly appreciate the small things in life. The things that, birthday parties, that's another thing that we've seen with these kids. They've not always celebrated birthday parties, and our volunteers are interacting with them, and they're so excited that they're having their first birthday party at age 9. And so it's those little things that really make it worthwhile, but our volunteers do a great job of connecting families to resources and making sure those kids get everything that they need. Well, CASA is excited about our continued growth. Now that we have our 6 counties established, we want to see more volunteers become involved. That's the whole gist of our agency, is that we have a staff person that oversees volunteers, and the volunteers are doing the work in the communities. And so we desperately need volunteers. We're serving about 20% of the kids that need a CASA right now. So there's 80% of the kids that are not getting the advocacy that they normally would. They still have a social worker, they still have an attorney, but most of these social workers have tons of kids that they're working with. And the kids who get a CASA have that extra set of eyes and ears that are really focused in on their needs, making sure that they get permanency as soon as possible. CASA of Midwest Kentucky is a nonprofit, so our main source of funding is grants that we get from state and federal government. We also rely heavily on donations and our fundraisers that we do every year. Okay, so some of the fundraisers, we have one going on right now, is a virtual superhero run. That's something that CASA does nationally, and Planters Bank is one of our sponsors. We're very excited. But with the superhero run, everybody dresses up as a superhero. We have a background that kind of looks like Batman, I think, is what somebody told me. And so they can dress up and do that, and get a t-shirt, cool t-shirt, and show us, that you're out there doing your run. And we tell people a run is anything, because I obviously do not look like I run marathons. So run can be sitting on your couch and watching a Hallmark movie marathon. Okay, we have a board member who rocks on his porch, and we have others that walk and just have a good time. So it's really about however you want to do your run. So we're excited about that. We also do No Shave November. So we're excited about, we have a lot of different community organizations that get involved, and they have contests of who can grow the most facial hair for the men. And then a lot of times the organizations also do like a jeans day or something for the women, so that they can also participate in the No Shave November. So we do that. And then in the winter, early spring, we do another virtual gala that we were doing prior to COVID. So now now it's not even like a thing anymore to do these virtual things. But we're hoping after COVID that we can start doing more in-person events. We are in need of volunteers. That's something that we really want to get. It's the community helping the community. We want volunteers here in Webster County to be advocating for the Webster County kids. We feel like that's very important. They know the community, they know the resources, so we feel like getting volunteers locally to help the kids locally is very important. So volunteers is always top of my list. Obviously, fundraising is also there. In these uncertain COVID times, you know, grants are not as high as they were, so we're constantly trying to figure out how to get everything paid that we need to get paid. So donations and you know, people being involved with our fundraisers is very important. But also we do some things, people like to give things sometime, and so we always like to have that option for people who like to give tangible items. And so we have a CASA Kids store. And it is a store that volunteers can come to and get a birthday gift off of, or get a Christmas gift, or if they're meeting their kids for the first time and they want a puzzle or a workbook or something that they can engage the child with, they can come and shop at our little shelf and get those items off of it to help make that first interaction with the kids go better. So we want to keep that fully stocked so that volunteers have plenty of opportunity to get those items, so people can bring, you know, anything that they think would be helpful. You know, we love books. Gently used or new books are great. I always like to read to the kids that when I go see them. Or, you know, puzzles, games, activity, things like that. Craft kits, those kind of things go really well. It is. We try to keep our volunteers from like spending their own money and buying things, because we don't want it to be a connection of, oh, when my CASA comes, they bring me gifts. But we want it to be like, you know, CASA provided this, so it's a little different than, you know, Amy brought me presents. So we're trying to make it where, and our volunteers are already giving of their time. You know, these volunteers, we tell people volunteers usually give about 5 to 10 hours a month. We have some that give more, but you know, they're already giving of their time. So anything that we can do to help them out and make it a little bit easier and do things like that, I think it's important. And it gives the community an opportunity to give to something. If they can't give of their time or their money, some people like to shop. We tell people who like to shop. We have 2 people that religiously donate to us, and they are shoppers. They are the clearance shoppers. Like, I have a bag of like 100 socks because this lady went to, I don't know, somewhere in Evansville and bought every sock that they had, but she got them for like pennies. And so, you know, it's neat that, you know, people do that, and then they don't have kids, so they're like, well, we need to donate it.
It's a win-win.
It is. So I'm like, absolutely, we need those shoppers. Some people, I mean, I like, you know, I love to shop, but I usually have a purpose when I'm shopping, but some people don't. They just like the deal. Like I've said, you know, the money from Season of Giving will allow us to recruit more volunteers here in this local community. And by recruiting those volunteers, that's going to give more kids an advocate. And that's our whole goal, is to be able to have that kind of unrestricted dollars to go out and recruit volunteers, to seek out those people who can help the kids that are in this community that we're not helping right now, and getting more kids assigned. That's the main thing, is getting those kids those advocates. Please buy the products at the Planters Bank in Sebree, Kentucky, to help support CASA of Midwest Kentucky during the Season of Giving.